1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, right. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, right. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, right. We're gonna ride round the clock tonight. Bed breakfast, start join me on. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1, 4 o'clock. Around the clock tonight. I'm gonna rock till the party light. I'm gonna rock around the clock tonight. Well, the dreams are rolling all night long. 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 Well, I heard the news. There's a good Friday night. I heard the news. There's a good Friday night. I'm gonna hold my feet, but just tight as I can. Well, I'm not gonna be a woman about me. I heard the news. There's a good Friday night. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride all my blues away. Well, it's 4 in the morning for the show. Get ready now, go cat go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoes. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. You can burn my house, sell my car, take my liquor from my old fruit jar. Do anything that you wanna do. I'll lay off of them shoes, and don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Yeah, you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. Well, I cheat, come and dance with me. Well, I teach you every dance from here across the sea. With my hop, yeah, then my bop, yeah, then my swap. Rock and roll, well, do stroll. Well, I cheat, got my blue suede shoes on. With my pink concrete shoes and my black slacks too. With my hop, yeah, then my bop, yeah, then my swap. Rock and roll, well, do stroll. Baby, you don't have to wait. Hop, I keep on knocking at your front door. All the cats are hopping at the bed. Cheat, when we reach the house. Hello, rocker and a cocker, really, have a ball. Where's my hop? Yeah, then my bop. Yeah, then my swap. Rock and roll, well, do stroll. Baby, you don't have to wait. Hop, I keep on knocking at your front door. Other cats are hopping at the bed. Cheat, when we reach the hop. Hello, rock around, pop around, have a ball. Where's my hop? Yeah, then my bop. Yeah, then my swap. Rock and roll, well, do stroll. Baby, you don't have to wait. Hop, I keep on knocking at your front door. Other cats are hopping at the bed. When we reach the house.
You've just seen many different styles of jive. There were the acrobatic throws of international competition rock and roll, and the polished sequined razzmatazz of ballroom jive. There was the classic 50s style, which you'd find in a jukebox cafe. And also the Lindy Hop and Jitterbug from the days of jazz and swing when the dance was first born. But this video is going to teach you modern jive. A jive you can dance to any kind of music, at parties and at clubs, and look really good doing it. Looking good on the dance floor comes partly from the guy's ability to lead and the girl's ability to follow. The girl should never try to lead herself, or it'll become a wrestling match and look very clumsy. Following well is as demanding as leading well, and communication between dancers is all in the fingertips. It's simply a matter of keeping a tension in the arm so that the girl can feel the direction of the move through her fingertips. It's that springy tension which gives the girl all the momentum she needs to travel about. For a girl to feel the tension in her partner's fingertips, she must have tension in hers too, and it should be evenly balanced with his. The moves we will show you build up into a routine, but this is just to help you remember them. They don't require any fancy footwork, and once you've learnt them, you can put them together in any order you like, however the music inspires you. Because jive isn't about rules, it's about how you feel about the music. Now for the first set of moves. So to begin with, take your partner by the hand. Which hand? Well, let's look at the different holds. You can do an open hand hold, in which the guy's left hand holds the lady's right, or you can do a shake hand hold, in which the guy's right holds the girl's right. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a double hand hold like this, or even a crossover hold. Now let's begin to get you moving with what we call a push and pull. Holding both hands, just twist from side to side to catch the rhythm of the music. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There are 4 beats to a bar, and we're counting every other beat. So, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now you're ready to spin the girl. An American spin looks like this. It's one of the classic moves from the 50s, but it was around long before that. So let's pace it through. From a double hand hold, the man simply lifts his arm and opens his hand flat, ready to push. He then pushes downwards to flick the girl into a spin, then catching her hands again. It's not just the boy, but the girl too who does the pushing. To get a good spin, they must both push against each other. So let's do a few American spins to get used to them. And 1 and 2 and 3 and push and catch. And 1 and 2 and 3 and push and catch. 1 and 2 and 3 and push and catch. Turning a girl is different from spinning her. A top turn works with a raised hand like this. The guy's left hand comes up, flattens, pushes, and the girl turns underneath it. It only takes a gentle push, and the man's hand then sweeps down to end the move. So let's pace it through. 1 and 2 and 3 and turn and down, and 1 and 2 and 3 and turn and down. A lot of moves can end with a return, which is an anti-clockwise turn with 2 beats and looks like this. And 1 and 2. So let's now try the top turn with a return. And 1 and 2 and 3 and turn and down, return and down. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Now try alternating between an American spin and a top turn to get used to the difference. A variation on the American spin involves the man turning too, and it goes like this. So let's pace it through. So, 1 and 2 and 3 and spin and catch, return and down. And 1 and 2 and 3 and spin and catch, return and down. So now let's see all these moves together. Practice them to music until you're comfortable with them, and then try the next set of moves.
Now I tried to warn you, but you wouldn't listen at all. You're just a two-time lover. You thought you were having a ball. Well, the day has come and the screaming is taking a fall. But this happens time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. You can't keep in line. Time after time. Now your game's all mine. Time after time. You feel sad, but too bad. This happens time after time after time after time. Well, hard luck, girl, the last laugh's all on you. You've been doing things that I didn't want you to do. You even lied to yourself when you said that you'd been true. But this happens time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. You can't keep in line. Time after time. Now the game's all mine. Time after time. You feel sad, too bad. This happens time after time after time after time. Time after time after time after time. Time after time after time after time. Time after time.
The second set of moves begins with something called the first move, and it looks like this. Your start position is facing each other in an open hand hold. On the count of 1, you spring, with both partners' hands making a full circle in the air as they take a step back. You should feel a tension in the muscles of your arm evenly balanced with the tension in your partner's arm. It's this spring which will give you all the momentum you need to spin around the dance floor. This spring action forms part of every move, so get it right from the start. Now, marking the beat, on the count of 1, you should already have done your spring, so it's and 1. On 2, the guy pulls the girl to his right side as he returns to his start position, feet together. Notice how he puts his free right hand on her hip. This acts as a brake to help stop the girl. She can put her hand on his right shoulder for better balance. On 3, he pushes with his left hand to turn the girl out, stepping back on his left foot. The girl steps back onto her right foot. The guy's hand should not slip from her hip or he can lose control. On the count of 4, the guy pulls the girl with his left hand back in to face him, and as he does so, raises his left arm and opens his hand ready for the turn. Notice how this pulling of your partner in to face you means she has to step in on her right foot. And now you're ready to push her into the turn. You only have to apply a little bit of pressure. Now you just push, and she moves smoothly into a clockwise turn. And then do a return. Looking a bit more closely at the hold, when you start, the girl's hand is on top, like this. But during the turn, it swivels gently around and ends up underneath. And this is how you get a really slick turn. So let's see that again. And. Spring and 2 and 3 and 4. Push and spring. Return and spring. And. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Push and spring. Return and spring. As you can see, the first move ends with a spring on an open handhold just as it started. Though this marks the end of the first move, this same spring can become the beginning of the next move. It's called a figure of 8 and looks like this. First, the guy turns anti-clockwise, then the girl turns clockwise, drawing an imaginary 8 on the floor. So let's pace it through. Spring back on 1, and then, as the guy begins turning anti-clockwise, he sweeps his right hand across and swaps her hand into it. He continues this sweeping motion up over his head until he's completed a full turn. The girl may well try to turn at the same time as him, but a gentle pull on her arm prevents her from doing so. It's only when he has turned back to face her again that the girl is now able to turn herself, with the help of a gentle push from him. So, spring, hand change 2, dip, turn 3 and 4, return 5, spring 6. Notice how just before the 3 beat, both partners' elbows dip briefly to help the girl spin smoothly. So once more, and spring, hand change 2, dip 3 and 4, return and 6. And again, and spring, hand change 2, dip 3 and 4, return and 6. The yo-yo looks like this. With this move, it's clear to see how the man keeps control over the girl. All moves look so much smoother when the man is not fighting the girl's momentum. So let's pace it through. On the count of 1, step back with a spring. On 2, the guy draws his right hand across his chest at the girl's shoulder height. At this point, she could put her left hand on his right shoulder for support. On 3, he extends his arm out horizontally, pushing the girl outward so they both face forward. This causes the girl to pivot on her left foot and step back on her right. And now on 4, he draws her back in again while at the same time preparing for a flat hand push. On 5, a gentle push makes the girl turn. On 6, spring, return 7, spring 8. So let's repeat the move a couple of times. Spring on 1, and on 2, free hand comes up and across his chest and girl steps forward. On 3, the man pushes the girl out to the side. On 4, he pulls her back to face him and prepares for the push. On 5, she goes into the turn. On 6, spring, return on 7, and spring on 8. And once again, it's spring, together, out and in and turn and spring and return and spring. So, spring, together, out and in and turn and spring and return and spring. So where do we go from here? Notice that the guy still has the girl in a shake hand hold. After the yo-yo, you could do a return into an open hand hold like this. But instead of a return, let's go to another move which uses the shake hand hold. The lady spin looks like this. This time, instead of pushing down, as with an American spin, the man pushes across. So, on 1 you spring, then on 2 the man pulls with his right hand to twist the girl anti-clockwise. She has to step forward with her right foot to balance. And the man, keeping his arm at waist height, opens his hand so that the girl has his palm to push against. On 3, he pushes her to his left into a spin. So this move has a side-to-side action. He pulls the girl to his right and pushes her to his left. Both partners do a bit of the pushing, so it's important that the man's arm is firm enough for the girl to push against. Once the girl has turned full circle, he can then send her into another spin straight away. And now let's see the second set of moves all together.
She won't be there. She knocks on my door, can't waste no time. I can't be hers, she can't be mine. I just don't know how I feel. But to this chick, it's another deal. I said time and again, there be no other than my long hair, tall, slim, undercover lover. Can't waste no friends, my sister or brother. Got my long hair, tall, slim, undercover lover. Oh yeah.
The third set of moves begins with the comb, which looks like this. It's a classic hand pass used for changing from a shake hand hold to an open hand hold. On 1, you spring and step back. On 2, the man draws the girl towards him by lifting his right hand up over his head and placing her hand on his left shoulder. The girl then slides her hand down his arm into his left hand as they draw away from each other. Let's see that again. Spring on 1. On 2, right hand comes up and combs down the back of the head. On 3, the girl's hand runs down the guy's left arm to be caught by his hand. You could do the same move the other way round, combing the girl's head instead of the man's. You could even do lots of combs like this. The comb is just one of several hand passes, and here you can see a quick sequence of some of them. The next move, called a neckbreak, looks like this. It's similar to the first move which we learnt earlier. Starting with an open hand hold, on 1, spring and step back with the man raising his right arm in preparation. On 2, the man pulls the girl towards him as his feet return to the start position. On 3, he passes the girl's right hand across to his right hand. The guy can first try the move by placing the girl's hand in his own, but once you're used to the move, you can just throw her hand across. On 4, the guy draws the girl in to face him by bending his right arm around her neck, hence the name neckbreak, placing his left hand on her left shoulder to help control her spin. On 5, he rotates her firmly into a double spin. The girl has to do 2 full spins to get out of the hold. This is quite a long way to spin, so the guy's lead has to give her enough momentum to get there. Then you spring on 6, return on 7, and spring on 8. Notice that during the spin, the man's hand has to be directly over the girl's head for it to spin well. The move finishes with a shake hand hold, but you could swap back into an open hand hold while the girl comes out of her turn, like this. However, while we're still in the shake hand hold, let's come out of the neckbreak into another move involving the same hold. This is the lady's comb. We've already shown this move, but once again. On 1, spring and step back. On 2, the guy lifts the girl's hand and places it behind her head. On 3, he lets go and slides his hand down to catch her right hand. And again. 1, spring and step back. 2, hand behind head. 3, slide and catch right. The sway also starts with a shake hand hold, and it goes like this. So it's spring and step back on 1. On 2, the guy rolls the girl into his right-hand side. As he rolls her in, he keeps his hand low, making sure her elbow is free and not caught inside his arm. Her palm swivels on his fingertips as he brings his hand onto her hip with a hold like this. This gives him better control. At the same time, his free left hand collects her left hand so that her arm is across his chest. On 3, he uses his right hand, resting on her hip, to pull her back into a sway, using his other hand to steady her. On 4, he uses his right arm to guide the girl forward, using his forearm and wrist to make her step forward onto her right foot. On 5, the guy makes the girl spin, using his right hand and forearm to flick her into it. At the same time, he lets go with his left hand. If you find this spin difficult, a little push of her left hand will help her turn. So let's see that sway again. Spring back on 1, 2 into the side, 3 sway back, 4 step forwards, 5 into the spin, 6 spring, 7 return, and 8 spring. Again, you could go straight from a sway into a number of other moves involving a shake hand hold, but for now let's just return the girl. As she comes out of the turn, just swap hands over her head to get her back into the open hand hold. So now let's see all these moves together. Our fourth set of moves begins with the Wurlitzer. Spring on 1, with the guy offering his right hand. Then on 2, the guy pulls the girl towards him, catching her left hand while flattening the palm of his left hand. On 3, he pushes the girl out with his left hand into an open position. On 4, he flicks her into an anti-clockwise spin. On 5, as she comes out of the spin, he catches her in a shake hand hold. And that's the Wurlitzer. So, it's spring on 1, 2 together, 3 push out, 4 flick, 5 spring. Let's do a couple more to see them in action. So it's and spring, 2 together, 3 push out, 4 flick, 5 spring. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. We call the next move a hatchback. It's very similar to the yo-yo, but this move has a back spin. So let's start with a shake hand hold. Spring on 1. On 2, the guy draws his right arm up across his chest as for a yo-yo. Now he has a flat hand grip like this. On 3, the guy flicks his arm outwards to spin the girl behind him. While she's turning, he turns anti-clockwise to catch her again in his left hand. Then return and spring. So let's work through the move now. It's spring on 1, right hand across 2, flicker out 3, turn and catch 4, return 5, and spring 6. And again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And once again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. After the return of the hatchback, the guy offers his free right hand to his partner, pulling her in at the same time, then pushing her away, ready for the start of the next move, which is double-handed. This is the Swizzle stick. Starting with the double handhold, spring on 1. On 2, the guy, leading with his left hand, wraps the girl in towards his right side, stepping forward onto his left foot. As he pulls, he raises his arm above her head so that she can turn in beneath it. He must keep her right hand raised so that their arms form an arch above their heads, and his right hand rests on her right hip. On 3, with a flick of his right wrist, he sends her into a fast clockwise spin, with his left arm directly up above her head. On 4, his hand sweeps down to end the spin and return. So let's try the swizzle stick once again. So, spring with both hands, then the guy wraps the girl in with an arch. Then his right hand flicks the girl into the spin while the left keeps her steady. And spring, and return, and spring. So once more, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now let's see all those moves together. The backhander starts in an open handhold and looks like this. This is a great move to make the girl spin really fast. So pacing it through, spring on 1. On 2, the guy steps forward onto his left foot. As he pulls her in towards him, he lightly rotates the girl's forearm, then takes her right hand behind her back and swaps hands. Notice the backhand hook with which he takes her hand. The man then pulls with his right hand, sending her into a fast spin. The trick of this move is for the man to pull downwards at the right moment, allowing his hand to rise as the girl spins out. Then spring on 4 and return on 5. So let's see the backhander in action. Spring 1, he pulls her forward 2, swaps her hand from his left to his right 3, and now, pulling downwards, firmly flicks the girl into a spin. As she does her spin, it's important that he follows smoothly the flow of her arm. It is she who raises it and not he who pulls it upwards. If he did this too suddenly or violently, he could hurt her arm. So, once again with the backhander. Spring, and left arm pass to right, and right hand pull into a spin, spring, and return. And once more. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And again. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. The rapper's first 3 counts are the same as for the Wurlitzer. So, pacing it through, spring on 1, pull in on 2, taking the other hand. On 3, the guy pushes with the flat palm of his left hand to send the girl out, and they both end up in an open position. But now on 4, with a little flick, he wraps the girl in to his right side. On 5, he unwraps her like this. On 6, he flicks her out into an anti-clockwise free spin, then catching her in a shake hand hold. And back to the beginning. So, spring 1, pull in 2, push out on 3, wrap in 4, unwrap 5, flick spin 6, catch 7. And once again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's see that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The drop kick requires an obvious lead. So, spring on 1. On 2, the guy draws the girl's hand to his chest with both hands. This signals the move to come. On 3, he pushes her out with his right hand. On 4, he flicks her into a half turn and she stops with her back to him, arms outstretched. He locks his wrist securely under her arms. On 5, he steps back and lowers her. She leans back into the move onto one supporting leg and kicks the other leg out in front of her. On 6, he lifts her out of the move by stepping forward. On 7, the guy pushes her left shoulder with his left hand while pulling her into a spin with his right. The girl helps him by raising her right arm. So, and 1, signal 2, push out 3, half turn 4, drop kick 5, lift 6, spin 7, catch on 8, and return. So, spring 1, signal 2, push out 3, half turn 4, drop kick 5, lift 6, spin 7, catch on 8, and return. So let's try all the moves we've just learned.
Well, let me tell you something that is really neat about an old style dance with a new style beat. You shuffle to the left, you jump to the right. It's a crazy kind of dance, but it looks just fine. Get up, everybody, stand in line. You gotta follow that song, or baby, looking just fine. You shuffle to the left, you jump to the right. It's a crazy kind of dance, but it looks alright. Well, listen, people, what I'm telling you, you can dance with a partner, you can dance with a few. The moves are looking good, just like I know they would. You're doing the stroll, and you can rock with me, baby. You got it, baby, you're doing the stroll. I'm wondering, maybe, have you been told that you can shuffle to the left, jump to the right? It's a crazy kind of dance, but it looks alright. Stroll and you can rock with me, baby.
The first jump begins very much like a first move. With an open hand hold, spring on 1. On 2, the guy pulls the girl into his side, taking half a step forward onto his left foot. On 3, the girl pivots on her left foot. The guy's right hand moves onto the girl's right hip, and his left hand changes to give the girl a platform against which to push, while both partners prepare for the jump. On 4, the girl jumps, pushing hard on the guy's shoulder. He pushes hard against her stiff right arm while lifting with his right arm. So let's look at the move again and see if the girl can get any higher this time. After this move, the girl needs a moment to recover her balance, so the guy could do a simple move next to give her time. The change places is an easy way of swapping positions and for moving from one hand to the other. So from the beginning, spring on 1. On 2, the guy steps forward, pulling the girl forward at the same time. As he pulls in, the guy sweeps his right arm across over the top of the girl's other arm. His hold on the girl's right hand breaks, leaving her hand free to slide around his back at waist level. Her hand is in exactly the right place for him to collect it again. He finishes turning on 3 and return on 4 and spring on 5. He could take the girl's right hand again with either hand. He can also use this move to alter his grip on the girl's hand from a normal hold to an inverted one, which would be suitable for a number of different moves. So, from the beginning. And 1, forward on 2, catch 3, return, and spring. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't be daunted by this classic move. Although it looks as though you need to be an octopus, it's actually very simple to do. With an open hand hold, spring on 1, while at the same time the guy turns sideways to the girl, offering his right hand behind his back. On 2, the man leads the girl forward by raising his left arm and she takes his hand. On 3, he leads her with his right hand across his back and lifts his right hand over her head. On 4, he loops it over his own head, returning the girl to face him. On 5, he loops his left arm over her head, turning her anti-clockwise like a return. The trick to this move is to try to maintain eye contact with your partner throughout. So, and 1 and under 2, across 3, under 4, release 5, and spring 6. Once more, and 1 and under 2, across 3, under 4, release 5, and spring 6. The twirl is an elegant but simple move which links several turns together. Now let's pace it through. Spring on 1. On 2, the guy leads the girl into an anti-clockwise turn. On 3, he repeats the turn, leading the girl further around him. On 4, he turns her again, and on 5, lowers his arm and spring. Let's try it again. And 1, and turn, and turn, and turn, and spring. And 1, and turn, and turn, and turn, and spring. That's 1, and turn, and turn, and turn, and spring. Now let's see all the moves together.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking of something to sing about you. I got my eyes wide open and I'm racking my head into something new that hasn't been said in a way that may just leave you all dead. But what new can I say about my 59?
The next move we're going to learn requires a cross handhold, and we can get into it with an American spin. The butterfly looks complicated, but it's really quite simple once you break it down into parts. So let's pace it through. The move starts with a crossover handhold, and to get into it, the guy simply offers his free left hand to his partner, like this. Make sure it's the left hand crossed over the right hand. So, on 1, partners cross hands and spring. On 2, the guy pulls with his right hand to make the girl start turning, while he lifts his left arm over her head to rest on her shoulders. They're now both facing forward. Notice their left hands are palm to palm. Now on 3, he makes her turn 360 degrees, pushing with his left hand to make her pivot on the spot, while he takes half a step forward. At the same time, he raises his right arm over her head and then over his own. He then brings her arm down to the nape of his neck. At this point, the guy's left arm should be straight across the girl's front, and her right arm should be straight behind his back. On 4, the guy pulls with his right hand to move the girl across from his left to his right side while stepping to the left. It's as though he were rubbing his back with a bath towel. So let's show that action again. On 5, the guy makes the girl travel across to the front by pulling her forward with his right and lifting his left arm over his head. This makes the girl step forward into a spin. On 6, he lowers his arms to end the move. Notice the hands are still in a crossover hold. We started with the left hands on top, but the move ends with the right ones on top. So let's go right through the butterfly again, breaking the move up to fit the beat, and spring 1, swing round 2, and round again 3, across 4, into a turn 5, and spring 6 to end. And again, spring 1, swing round 2, round again 3, across 4, into a turn 5, and spring 6. The move ends with a crossover handhold, and to break out of it, the simplest way is an overhead change. There are a number of different overhead changes. Spring on 1, hands raised and breakaway on 2, and swing down and catch on 3. Another variation is to change hands behind the girl's head, and 1, and 2, and 3, and behind the guy's head. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Seducer is an ideal grand finale to finish off dramatically just as the song closes. It starts just like the first move, with the spring on 1, the pull in on 2, and the push out on 3. But now on 4, the guy takes a step forward, then turns the girl back to face him by pivoting her on her left leg and pulling her tightly against his right thigh. On 5, he lowers her like this against his right leg. His weight is on his left leg, and notice his bended left knee. His right forearm is supporting the girl's weight, and his left arm holds her right arm upwards, giving extra support. On 6, he finishes the move by straightening his left leg, bringing her body upright again. On 7, the guy pushes the girl out, making both partners step back. On 8, he pulls her forward like a first move, with a return. He turns her under his arm, and then there is a return. So let's try it again, and this time try to be even more dramatic by lowering the girl nearly to the floor. And 1, and into the side. Turn out, pull in, lower, pull up, turn out, back in, under and spring, return and spring. So, that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, lower 5, raise 6, 7 out, 8 in, and turn and spring and return and spring. Okay, let's see that again. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, turn 4, lower 5, raise 6, 7 out, 8 in, and turn and spring and return and spring. So let's see all these moves together.
Better luck the next time, say, I gotta tell you that we're through. I found a girl who's always had me. Listen, girl, I'm leaving you. I love a girl around the corner. Just found out that she's no good. I left her, didn't even want her, but I'd crawl back if I
So let's see the whole routine as we've learnt it. Now it's just a matter of practice before you can perfect it yourself. And the better you get, the more you'll enjoy it. Then you can dance the moves in any order you like as the music inspires you.
But to you, it's an everyday thing. Maybe someday you'll want me to want you. Where will it be? Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Buddy.
You can dance these moves to virtually any kind of music, so experiment. Once you have these under your belt, you can try some of the classic acrobatic moves known as air steps or aerials.
When you hear what they're saying, you know what they're playing ain't true. Well, I believe in you, baby.
If you're trying one of these acrobatic moves, then you should really practice with a regular partner and gently does it until you're sure the move works. The more ambitious ones should only be practiced with the help of expert tuition in a dance class. And remember, you can't fling your partner around if you're packed like sardines on the dance floor. You should respect the space of other dancers and make your moves tighter and slicker if there isn't room. If you do accidentally hit another dancer, apologise. But in the meantime, be original, be outrageous, and have a great time jiving.
I feel that duty bound, not to leave you hanging around. I'm in love with you, baby, this is it. I'm in love with you, baby, this is it. True love with you, baby, this is it. True love with you, baby, this is it. 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 This is it.